For people who've never met you,
Mm.
how would your friends describe who you are?
I would say outgoing, hopefully. Um, Quite positive overall. And I think just considerate of others, I would hope. I mean, that's what I think they would say.
Yeah, do you think that those are like attributes you look for in your own friends as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine if they're not necessarily outgoing. Maybe they're a bit more introvert. That's fine.
Mm.
But yeah, I think just finding people that kind of share similar qualities and want to be good people as well.
Yeah, of course. Do you have any, because for instance, like, do you have any qualities that you think, or is there anything that usually that gives people the wrong first impression of you? Because for instance, is apparently I just look miserable apparently sometimes, and I'm like,
I've heard
I'm
that.
really nice. I'm really nice. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like,
The resting bitch face.
yeah, resting
Yeah.
bitch face. Do you think you've got anything like that, or do you work to kind of put on a good face all the time, sort of thing?
I don't think so. I think I just get told I look like a nice person.
Yeah. So
But
no
I think
wrong
that's what people
impressions.
say when they don't really think you have a personality. They're like, oh, you seem nice. And I don't know. A lot of people think that I come across quite confident. Sometimes it depends in the moment. Sometimes it is like quite real and authentic. Other times it's a little bit fake. But as long as it works.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm a nice guy, everyone. I like to think, you know, I look miserable. Oh, listen.
Taking this as an opportunity to just
Just
address
vent, yeah,
this
just
rumor.
address this rumor that I'm a miserable guy. I know you mixed nationality.
Yes.
Is there any one of those nationalities you feel more towards, or is it like everything is who you are?
I had a feeling this would come up, and it's something that I get asked quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I have done my whole life. I wouldn't say there's any one specifically that I identify with more.
Yeah.
I've been living in the UK slightly longer than I've lived in the other countries. So Venezuela and Chile, I grew up there, but I haven't really lived there long term for quite a while. So sometimes a little bit more British, but then it changes a lot. When I'm around British people, I might feel a bit more Latin American. And then when I'm over there, I feel a little bit more British. So it really varies quite a lot.
Someone says to me, Lee, where are you from? I'll say Manchester, obviously. So what answer would you give?
It's never a short answer.
Is it
No,
never a short
it's
answer?
always just how much time have you got.
Okay.
So I have different versions. There's a very summarized one, or it depends if they actually have any interest in wanting to know.
And like, obviously, with you moving around so much, like, you know, you've lived in Venezuela, Chile, the UK, Portugal, Australia, and even and Qatar and everything. How different are those places? And like, you know, how hard has it been to move around, and what are the positives?
I think I've always been quite used to moving from one country to another because I've done it from such a young age. And my parents obviously came from different countries and they also moved to a new one together. So I think being used to it's kind of been a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I find it quite easy to move to new places and adapt and just kind of get on with things and learn the ways of that country and a new culture. But at the same time, it just means that every time I go somewhere, I don't really feel like it's home.
Home, yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely good and bad sides, I guess, but mainly positive.
So home is more of a feeling than a place to you.
Yes, definitely. Because at the moment, when people ask me, I still don't know where I'd say home is.
It must be. I mean, obviously, because I've grown up in Manchester, lived in Manchester my whole life, where all my friends are, all my family, I can't really relate. So, like, does all that moving around, has that like affected you at all? Because obviously you've got friends everywhere, but it's like you move to another country and you're like, oh, I'm probably not going to be here that long. Like, how did that affect you, if at all?
It definitely has. So I've got a lot of friends and family in different countries, which is great because it's like you know somebody everywhere. But it's just that feeling of kind of being a little bit lost because I don't really have a proper home. And my mum and dad's families are so far away from each other. So, of course, here in the UK and then in Chile, which is so far, it's not something that you can really kind of go every now and then. It's quite a big trip.
I mean, you've sampled like a lot of wine though, by a lot of good wine regions at least.
So
You
I
know,
actually don't really like wine, but I did get to try some quite a lot in Chile, and I've been to quite a lot of the vineyards and things like that. But unfortunately, it's an experience wasted on me because I just give my mum all the wine,
yeah,
and
fair
she
enough.
gets drunk, and I'm just there for a day out. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's confusing, and I think even now in my life, I thought I'd sort of know more or less where I'm going, what I'm doing, but again,
And how old are you now, Fiona? How
I'm
old are you?
29.
29.
Yes.
So you've spent your formative years moving around. So that's like you said, that's what you know. That's what your life has always been.
Yeah.
Are there any positives to that? You said it's like a bit confusing, and you're not really settled. But was there any positives from your lifestyle?
Yeah, I've managed to meet a lot of really cool people from all over. And, even if you're only in a place for a short amount of time, you can still become really close to people. And I think you can get some really great connections as well. So it's always worth it. And even just getting to know a new place as well, it's always quite rewarding when you finally manage to feel like a local. So I just really enjoy getting to meet new people and experience new places and just learn about different cultures. So that side's always been really great. And it's given me the opportunity to travel quite a lot. So I can't complain because I feel like now, I don't know, I never really thought that much about what 29 would feel like, but I thought I'd have things more sorted out by now.
It's such an
And
age. I remember when I was 29, I was like, I'm still in my 20s, so can I still be an idiot for another year, or do I have to kind of like
that's the
get prepared to
thing.
grow up?
I think 30 is such like a
Looming,
scary age.
yeah.
It shouldn't be really, but I think sometimes you have such high expectations for things that you want to achieve by a certain age, and you just have to accept that that's not always going to happen.
I think that societal stigma of being 30, have to be married and kids, I think that's kind of subsiding a bit now, especially with our generation,
Yeah,
because a lot of people just are like, how am I supposed to have a kid and a house and a car and a life? So I
yeah,
think
it's
we're
so
getting,
hard
yeah,
now.
exactly. Whereas, my parents' generation, it was just like, yeah, a house is £3,000.
It was so much more affordable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now, I don't know, I'm living in a studio. I'm like, maybe that's not realistic right now, but we'll see.
And so you've just mentioned, obviously, that you had to adapt a lot because of like moving around. Is there any kind of like times when you've just been like, you just restless as opposed to adapting? You're like, I can't really relax because I'm probably not going to be here that long. How did you? I imagine that was a bit of a.
I think, well, I'm just so used to feeling that way, I suppose.
Yeah, okay, fair
because
enough.
every time I've moved somewhere, I've known that it's not going to be long term. So when I did Australia, it was very much like a backpacking phase that a lot of young people go through.
Yeah.
So I knew that that was just kind of for the experience more than anything. And then when I moved to the Middle East, I really liked living there. I was unsure of it at first, but then I surprisingly really enjoyed the lifestyle, and I got to know the place, and I just felt very much at home. But then again, I knew it wouldn't be permanent home. So I don't know, because I've always had that mindset. It's kind of hard to really feel stable somewhere, but also it makes it quite easy in a way because you think, oh, well, it's not going to be forever. So if something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so you're always ready to just get up, bug out, and leave if you need to.
Yeah, pretty much.
And how is your mixed nationality kind of shaped how you see people? So for instance, I'm typically probably as British and as Northern as you can be, and so my view on people is just like, all right, mate, like let's like have a chat on the bus and like people you don't know, and it's sort of like tour and transitly linked, you know what I mean? And that's how I kind of see people. How was your view on people, and how was your mixed nationality kind of affected that?
I think you learn to see a lot of differences. So, of course, especially because I've lived in those countries, I know what to expect from people there because it's so different, of course. But it is a little bit tricky because nobody really understands fully my background or how I grew up, apart from my mom and my sister, because I can make any references with them, whether it's like a Venezuelan, a British, or a Chilean thing,
That
and they
must
would
be amazing.
understand.
Well, having all those personal
So
jokes from different cultures must be
100%.
great.
So it's just nice to have, definitely to have had my sister kind of through that as well, because she can just fully relate to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think without her, I'd definitely feel a bit more lost because I wouldn't know who I could talk to about all of those things.
So now obviously you're 29. You've done, like I say, your formative years traveling around, and you initially trained as a primary school teacher, but obviously you're in marketing now. So what initially took you towards teaching? Because I know that when I was 24 and I was in the process of doing a PGCE and stuff, and it seemed to be like that thing at 24 is like, I need some identity, feel like I need something, and that's kind of like why I took towards it. Like, obviously with my art background, I wanted to be an art teacher. But what is it that took you towards teacher training?
So I had a lot of ideas of careers growing up. I always changed my mind, which shouldn't come as a surprise because I feel like my whole life was this way. So I just kind of flip and then decide to try something new every time. So I was kind of exploring journalism, actually. And then when I was traveling Australia, I worked as a nanny. So I experienced working with kids, and it was something that I really enjoyed. So then COVID came along, and of course, a lot of things just weren't really feasible anymore. So I thought, okay, well, I am now in the UK and I can't go anywhere for a while. Why don't I just try doing a PGC? Because I knew I liked working with kids. And as a child, I really loved school. So I kind of wanted to make that a positive place for other kids too. So yeah, I was here in the UK and I thought, why not just go ahead? I'm going to be here for a while anyway, because during COVID, we didn't really know what was happening. So I thought I'd just try it out. And I knew that teaching would also give me the opportunity to move anywhere in the world. So that was a really big selling point for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So as soon as I finished my PGC, then I got the job in Qatar and moved away.
Amazing. Did you teach in the UK at all, or was that just for your training? Oh, okay,
so I knew I didn't want to teach in the UK. I always wanted to teach internationally.
Yeah. International schools are pretty cool, aren't they, to be fair?
Yeah, so now I'm working in marketing, which is a big change, but I'm still working with international schools and in education, so it's kind of linked. It's not too far.
Is there anything like, because a lot of people, they don't really grow up; they just grow old. So, is there any kind of like skills that you've learned from working with kids that you still use today with people?
I think just patience more than anything.
Massive parts of patience, yeah.
A lot of patience is required, and teaching can be very challenging and quite draining at times. So I think just being very resilient as well.
Of course, yeah.
You
have to be thick-skinned, yeah.
But yeah, patience 100%. It's helped me so much in life, which is why I think I come across as quite calm, even when I'm super anxious or stressed. It's still pretty chill.
Obviously, so you're saying that it can be quite a stressful experience. Was that like pivotal in your decision that teaching wasn't going to be forever, or what is it that caused you to come out of it?
I think I did enjoy a lot of parts of teaching. I really enjoyed working with the kids and getting to plan fun activities and doing things like that. I think I just got to a point where I knew I needed a change and I wanted something outside of the classroom. But I wouldn't say that I'm fully done with teaching and that's in the past, because I've still done little bits here and there. Like I worked in a summer school last year as well.
Amazing.
So it's good to I still kind of have that, and I have that to fall back on, and I've got that experience. And it especially helped me to get this job now because I work with a lot of international teachers.
Cool.
So it's there if I want to go back into it. And it's, I don't regret having done that. So I'm not entirely sort of throwing it away. It's still there. It might come back again in the future, but for now I'm pretty happy with where I am.
Cool. Yeah, so you obviously working with teachers now. Was that like an easy transition for you then, getting out of teaching but working with teachers in a new career kind of thing?
Not really. I think there are quite a lot of teachers that sometimes want to try out something different, but they've been in the classroom for such a long time that they're scared to. So I thought, okay, now's my chance. If I don't do it now, then I'll probably just stay in the same job without having tried that. But looking for a new job and changing careers is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just applying for all kinds of jobs, not necessarily just marketing. It was a big mix of anything that I could find, really, that was kind of similar to what I'd done or I had some experience in. And then I just applied for jobs every day for months. And eventually this job that I have now came up and it was advertised by email. And as soon as I got it, I was like, this is it. This is a perfect job. And I just put so much time and effort into doing everything I could in the application and the interview process, which was quite long. But it was just, I got very lucky. I think my current boss really pushed for me to have that opportunity. And even though I had zero marketing experience, he just really believed in me.
And recognised your skills that you had, of course.
Yeah, I was just very passionate, very determined. And I think that showed. And he just wanted to give me a chance.
Beautiful.
Which I'm, very grateful for.
Give us like a lowdown of like your day to day and how you find it and what you do. And
well, I think you might be able to relate to a lot of
yeah,
this.
I think so. Yeah,
a big chunk of my job, which I get made fun of by other people in the building, is emails, because they think all I do is send emails, and it's not just that, but it's a big chunk of it. Of course, I work for a very big platform in international teaching, so it's like a recruitment platform. So any emails that we send out to candidates, that's all done by me. So it does take a lot of time. But other than that, I do webinars and blog, newsletter, social media, all those kind of things as well.
So you host the webinars yourself?
Yes.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, it was at first, but I think you get used to it with time. I kind of just introduce myself, kind of say what's going on, and then pass it on to somebody else who's more knowledgeable. But
so this is why I was surprised that the podcast was kind of a bit daunting for you when you're obviously the queen of communicating and connecting.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm talking about myself, which isn't something you normally do.
That's true, actually, unless you're trying to get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does give you, I guess, doing webinars and presenting gives you the skills of just waffling a little bit and improvising on the spot, which is something you get from teaching as well.
I've got a little bit of a background in presenting as well, and it is a skill that they just don't teach it. I mean, you obviously can literally learn it, but it's not. It's like you have to just do it, don't you, to get good at it? And your first few times are terrible, aren't they? You're like,
sometimes you get stuck, sometimes your mind goes blank.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, presenting was always my favorite thing in every subject. Whenever you could get any points towards your grade or at uni, presenting something, that was the best for me.
So what skills from teaching are pivotal in your marketing job?
More than anything, it's the actual knowledge based around international teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, because I handle a lot of the blog and things like that, we kind of need to know a lot about international teaching because it's very different to teaching in the UK in state schools. So you've kind of got to know what schools look for and just in general things about moving abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'd say just maybe being a little bit organized. I think that works in every job, but now I work from home, so that's something that I do struggle with because teaching got me out of bed every day.
Of course.
And even though I was super tired by the end of the day, I had some sort of routine.
Yeah.
Whereas working from home is just, who knows? Every day is different.
Yeah.
It's
not for everyone.
It isn't, no. I feel very lucky that I get to do it.
Yeah.
Because I can just work from the comfort of my, even my bed if I want to. But it's sometimes a little bit hard to rely on yourself to kind of build that schedule and stick to it. So, I mean, I'm doing this podcast at like 2 p.m, so that's just a lot.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad life, really, is it? But like, it's funny that you say that about organisation. I'd say organisation is probably one of the most massively underestimated skills ever.
Yes.
Like, some people are just naturally good at it, but to try and teach someone like and it to stick, God, I wish I had elite organizational skills because that's such a good foundation for any job. It's funny, it's great that you say that.
It's always very useful, but again, it's good and bad. So I love being organized. Usually I stick to it. Sometimes I can drift off a little bit and have my moments of procrastination. But then again, in my life, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I kind of try to plan the future as much as I can, but I don't know what's going to happen. So I've kind of had to let that go sometimes and just see whatever happens.
What would you say the key to organisation is from your experience?
I just function with lists. That's literally all I do.
They're so good. They're so
I love
good.
a to-do list.
If everything's in your head going crazy, if you write it on a list, you can just go, organise it, done. And it makes everything less scary as well.
And I'm very much like old school. I like to handwrite everything. So any to-do list is all written down like that. And any sort of task, I just write it all down. There's something about it that feels like you've achieved something more than if you type it up. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Yeah,
I think so. I think it's because it's tactile, you know, and when something's tactile, it exists. Whereas if you just do it on a laptop, you shoot a laptop.
It doesn't feel the same. You don't feel that moment of, wow, I accomplished something.
This sounds really like artsy fartsy, but when you write something, you've actually created something, haven't you? And you've made it real. Whereas on here, it's like, and you just shut your laptop.
See, there's the art teacher talk.
Away. Yeah.
There you go.
And now, obviously, to get where you are, you do a lot of studying yourself. So you studied history of art and Portuguese now together.
It's very random.
It can sound very random, of course, but tell us why, how.
I was the only one in the uni studying that combination at the time, which says a lot. So my dad studied languages and literature at university. So he went to uni here in Liverpool, and he studied Spanish and Portuguese as part of his degree. So that's how he eventually got a job that took him to South America, where he met my mum. And my mum had also learned English. So my parents were always really into languages. And I don't know, I think my dad told me when I was little that he loved Portugal and he really loved Portuguese, and it just stuck with me for some reason. And I said, okay, that's something that I want to do as well. So I knew that my degree had to include Portuguese in some way or another, which is usually a bit of a random choice. Not many people here in the UK really try to study Portuguese. But after that, it was kind of, I don't know. I think when I was applying to uni, I was just so overwhelmed by all the choices that you had for what you could study. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew I always wanted something language-based. So initially, I started studying Arabic and Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
And then I decided that the Arabic lessons weren't really what I had in mind. I wasn't enjoying it that much. So I just went into the uni office and asked what else I could change it to and still study Portuguese. And they just gave me a list of about 5 things. And I just said, yeah, sure, history of art, and just changed overnight. Okay. So it was just a really random choice. I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
Then I stuck it out for 4 years.
So. Did you link the two together, like study any Portuguese art and kind of put them, or was it kind of like just minor, major sort of thing?
It was mainly just very separate things because, like I said, no one else did that combination. So it was just kind of each subject on its own. Yeah. And I got to live in Portugal as well as part of that. So
beautiful.
That was the best part.
Yeah, you ever visit Brazil? You're laughing as well?
I did. I visited Brazil a few years ago, but I only did Rio. So, there's so much more to see. But it was just, while I was there, I thought, why not?
So what do you think studying art trained your brain to notice? Because it's a very detailed. It's not like you're doing art as in producing it, so you've got free reign. You're studying art, going behind the whys and the who and everything. It's a very involved process, isn't it? Studying art. So what did your brain learn to notice after you completed that degree?
Going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. Like I said, it was pretty much the last minute change. But I just like that it combined literature with history, and then obviously art as well, because I was always more into the creative side of things. Yeah. I was never really a STEM kind of student. So I just went into it very open-minded, I guess. And what I just really enjoyed was that a lot of the people there and the professors and lecturers, they just encourage you to be open to everything. And I know my friends sometimes joked about it because with history of art, a lot of it is subjective. So a lot of the things you can write is it's not right or wrong. But I like that it just pushed me to be a little bit more maybe non-judgmental and open to people's opinions, because like I said, there wasn't really a right or wrong answer, so you could just kind of take something and then go from there and start to deepen your thinking a little bit and branching out into different ideas. And it really sort of motivated me to think outside of the box a little bit
Yeah.
and be a bit more creative and look at why people think differently.
I love that you say that it helped you understand, people's different opinions. I think that's really, really valuable. I think it's a skill that we could definitely all take a moment, like a minute, to improve on. You know what I mean? And I think that you wouldn't. It's crazy to think that you got that from like studying art. It's not like and you've been able to apply that to every day now.
Definitely. And I think it also showed me that, whatever you thought, you could share it with everyone else and there was no judgment. So no matter what you thought, no matter if it sounded really ridiculous, people were willing to listen. And I think that gives you a little bit of confidence as well, because sometimes you're so reluctant to share your opinions or your thoughts because you think you'll be wrong or people might question how on earth you got there. But with History of Art, it was always very open. So I think that also kind of helped me out in life now, because I'm a lot more willing to open up and say what I think without thinking all the time, what will people say?
Yeah, and you can put a little bit of thought into your answers rather than speaking straight away. And you're just saying you didn't know what to expect when you did the degree. Did you ever worry that it might have? You got a really good skill out of it, and obviously you are where you are with your career. But did you at any point figure or think that this is useless? Did that ever come across your mind?
Sometimes, yes.
I'll tell you why I asked that, because obviously I did a photography degree, and everybody used to say,
"What are you going to do with that?"
Like, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse degree. It's this, it's that, and I'd say people I'm at uni doing photography, and they'd be like, oh, like they could, you know what I mean? It kind of used to upset me a little bit. It's like I've studied this my whole life. I'm 36 now. I went to uni 15 years ago, and I'm still doing it now. So it's not like it's just for a laugh. So, like, what if someone, or if you could tell your younger self, then you were worried about it like being useless, what would you tell them?
Honestly, I think if I went to uni now, I probably would choose something else.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I just didn't really know what I was doing. And I think that's very common with a lot of 18-year-olds. But I knew languages was always going to be useful, no matter what I decided to do in the future. So I knew that side of it would always be okay. I don't regret anything, though. I don't regret studying what I did, especially because my family was always very supportive. And my mum, when I said I wanted to change History of Art, she just said, yeah, you go do whatever you want. It's fine. There were no expectations there and no pressure for me to have something like really useful, because I think my parents knew that regardless of what I did, I would find a way to make that experience helpful or useful in some way or another. So I think because I didn't have that pressure, and also I didn't have any expectations from myself of what I wanted to do, I was quite free to just do what I enjoyed at that time. And I think that's why I don't really regret having chosen that degree. And I found it really interesting. I learned a lot of new things. So that for me was just a valuable investment, I guess.
Yeah, of course. So does that play into like your love of traveling then? The fact that you're able to just, experience things like you have done?
Yeah, I think just being able to enjoy all of these experiences separately, for what they are, rather than thinking, oh, but how is this going to help me? Or I don't know, what's going to happen after this? I think it's definitely helped. Although it's something that I'm trying to figure out currently as well, because I'm so worried about the future that I'm just kind of trying to remind myself of all of these things that have happened in the past. Yeah. A lot of them have been very spontaneous decisions, and they've had the best outcomes. So I very much a person that doesn't have any regrets. and I'm just quite happy with the decisions that I've made.
So that's amazing. That having no regrets, but not like forcing it, but living a life where you've actually had no regrets. So it's got to be quite freeing, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had bad experiences as well, just like any other person. But for the most part, even the decisions that I made that people were like, well, why are you doing that? In the end, I just got a lot out of it. And that's just what I've taken throughout my life that has helped me learn quite a lot.
And obviously, like, you love to dance, and to be able to dance in front of people is quite you have to have a modicum of confidence, don't you, really, to be able to do that. And I know you say, you wanted to do the dance events here at the James with us, and it's something that you really love. So, like, did that start during your moving around as a kid, or like when did dancing become such a big part of your life?
So I did take dance classes as a child, but I wasn't very consistent with them. So I don't know, maybe that was a sign of what was to come in my life, because I remember I just joined every single club that I could join, and I tried every single activity. So I wasn't really consistent with one, which was good in a way. My parents let me do whatever I wanted.
Nice.
But it means that I didn't really improve in one specific area, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel the exact same. I was always able to, like, kind of do what I wanted to do and be, see my friends, do whatever, but I was never pushed into anything. And I don't blame them for it. They had their own lives to live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as well as looking after us with 4 kids in one house. My mum worked 2 jobs, my dad was working. But I kind of wish sometimes that they'd have just either
nudged you.
Yeah, or put me into a martial art, or like made me start my wrestling earlier. Something, just anything. It would have been...
I said the same.
It'd have been very helpful, Mum.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I did tell this to my mum once, and she was like, but we just wanted you to have a normal childhood and just enjoy everything, which made sense. But it's why I don't really excel in any field right now. But regardless, I always really enjoyed dance.
I bet you do. I bet you do, I bet there'll be someone out there.
Maybe there's something that I haven't, I don't know, I've not tried out yet.
Something that you're doing, I bet you're saying you don't excel in anything. There'll be somebody just starting out who looks like wishes they had the skill set you do. So I think you probably surprise yourself in there,
I guess maybe it's good to be like okay at a lot of different things.
I've seen you move. You've got rhythm. You've got excellent rhythm.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But the dancing was something that I just always really enjoyed. And then I'd come back to it, but then I'd move country, and then it wouldn't go back. And then, I don't know, it was very inconsistent. And then as I started to get a little bit older, especially in my early 20s, I just really wanted to go back into it. But I was like, oh, I'm too old now. Which, of course, I wasn't. I was still super young. But sometimes when you see things, especially physical activities, you sometimes think, well, everyone there is going to be better than I am now because they've been doing it for years. And I've been away from it for so long that, I don't know, everyone's going to judge me. And you build up this fear in your head that that's what it's going to be like. So it stops you from even trying it in the first place, which is why it took me a while to actually get back into it. And then when I moved to the Middle East, that's, I think, what kind of pushed me. If anything, it was kind of like a breakup that pushed me to do it, because I thought, okay,
very powerful thing.
Yeah. I just needed something for myself. I didn't really have any hobbies, and I thought, okay, there's this opportunity now where I can finally get back into it. If I don't try it now, I'm just going to keep putting it off my whole life, and I'm going to end up regretting what I didn't do. So I started going to classes, and then I found out that all the time that I'd been worrying was for nothing, because all the other adults there were in the same position too. So I think that just helped me a lot. I found a studio where I felt really at home, and I just started going to classes so much, and it helped me kind of stay away from work and thinking about work as well, because as an international teacher, I was living and working with all the same people. So it was kind of nice to have a little break from that. And then that really just helped me improve my confidence so much through those dance lessons.
What kind of like emotional freedom does it give you that like speaking can't? Because it's universal. You don't need to be able to speak the language of dance, do you? You can just do it. It doesn't matter, bad, good, whatever. What does it kind of give you emotionally?
I think it's just, it helps me kind of disconnect from everything else because I'm really focused into what's happening and memorizing the choreography, that I can just be present rather than worrying about everything else that I have going on in my life.
We've got something in common there, like, because pro wrestling is very choreographed.
Okay.
There's a lot of, it's not obviously, we've been known for years now, it's not real fighting, is it? And it's choreographed and it's a dance, and you move, you learn, you have to move, you remember stuff, and like, I can imagine there's a similar crossover of you mess a move up and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? And it's like, you do something wrong, but obviously with wrestling, you've got your partner's safety as well, so I imagine it a bit more like swing dancing than anything else. So I can kind of relate to what you're saying there. And it's really, really, really liberating when you get it right, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
definitely. And I've got videos from when I first started compared to now, so it's just nice to look back and see, that there has been some improvement, because sometimes you do feel a little bit down, especially you go to one class and maybe you didn't do that as well that day. So it's just reassuring to know that you are building on that, on those skills.
It's very therapeutic. It's a very therapeutic thing, isn't it? Just movement in general,
Yeah.
So,
and it's nice just to have something. I don't know. I think without having any sort of hobby, you just feel a little bit lost, really.
Now, speaking of being lost, when you arrived to Sheffield, what was it that you were actually looking for, like in terms of where you were living and everything like that?
I really wanted a community more than anything. So I wanted to be able to meet people. A lot of the people that I knew in the UK don't live here anymore, or they just live all spread out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to meet other people that were maybe at a similar stage in their life when they were trying to work out what they were doing. And I just found this by chance. I wasn't looking directly in Sheffield. It just happened to pop up. And I thought I would give it a go. But I also wanted to move to a city that had the things that I wanted. And dance classes was one of those things. And I got really lucky. I found some really amazing ones here.
Because, like, what was your initial, when you actually came to the James, even for your viewing, like, what was like your initial thoughts of everything? Did it match up to those expectations, or?
So I'd seen the James advertised, and I'd looked through the pictures, and I was like, this looks amazing. It looks so modern and clean, and it's brand new. So I was already quite convinced by then. And I arranged a viewing, and my mom and my stepdad had come from Chile at the time. So I arranged it ages in advance, and we booked the train tickets and everything. And then Nicole told me actually that you guys would be on a training day in Manchester or something, so that I wouldn't be able to do the viewing that day. And I was just like, okay, I guess it's not meant to be, because we'd booked everything already, so we weren't going to cancel the trip. And I just thought, okay, it's fine. Like, it's not going to happen. But we thought, let's have a day out in Sheffield anyway. And then just by chance, we were walking along, and then we saw that on the window it said "Walk-ins welcome."
Yeah.
And my mum said, "Go in and ask." And at that point, I was 28, so I'm old enough to do this, but mums do that anyway.
Yeah.
And she just kept pushing me, and I said, "No, they're out training. No one's going to be there." And she said, "Just go in and ask." So because she pushed me, thankfully, it turns out that the training had been cancelled that day, and Nicole was able to show me around.
Amazing, yeah.
So it was one of those things that, had that not happened,
serendipitous,
I would have gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it was just meant to be, I think.
That's a great story, yeah. I love that. And was it the walk around? Was it when you actually started living here? What moment of your journey with the James were you like, yeah, this feels right, this is exactly what I wanted?
So initially, when I had that viewing, I'd also viewed a few other places in Sheffield, but they felt a little bit empty. I don't know. There was just something missing. I couldn't quite place it. And then when I came here, it just felt more of like a home. It had that cozy sort of home feeling. So by then I was very much convinced. I was like, okay, I want to try this out. But I suppose after moving here, it wasn't really until summer last year where we finally started to get a big group of friends and we started to become really close and go out and do things together, that I felt like this really feels like something like an actual community.
Because the community, it's not forced, is it? You genuinely are all friends, aren't you? Like, look at the Instagram, look at all the pictures, and every time somebody leaves, you all get like emotional, and it's a big turnout for everyone. So it's not like you're just all living in a flat of separate from everyone. You know, we do mean what we say. So do you think that's what makes us different from other places, or is there anything else?
I think so. I think it also just depends how much you kind of invest and what you want to take from it.
You can get out of whatever you want out of it, can't you? If you want to be left to yourself, we're not going to force you.
So some people do want that, and that's absolutely fine. But then there are people here that
thrive on it.
Decided to live here to meet people. And I think that's what a lot of us had in common. So that's why we just kind of came together very quickly. And then, I don't know, sometimes you become close to people overnight when you don't expect it.
Yeah. And how has that impacted your day-to-day life living here?
It's made it a lot more, I guess, just like home in a way. Even though I know it's temporary, it's still...
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just straightening my head so I could see what you were talking about.
Sorry. I'll start again.
It's all good.
No, it's just, it feels very welcoming and it just feels very genuine because, like I said, I work from home. So it's a little bit isolating at times and it's hard to meet people when you're stuck at a desk in your flat all day. So knowing that I can come downstairs and see friends or just chat for a little bit, it makes a difference.
And has it impacted the way that you view the city living here? Like, because obviously, you know, you could have ended up living on your own and had to go for like the apps and try and meet people that way. Do you feel connected to Sheffield now for like the first time in however many years?
I would say yes. You know, this helped a lot. And when I eventually leave Sheffield, which is, you know, coming up soon, I'll always kind of link the James to my experience in Sheffield because that's a big part of it. And I think that's what looking back will have made it such a positive experience.
And when are you leaving? I didn't know you were leaving. Is that big exclusive news?
It's funny you asked that because Miri just emailed me asking me when I'm moving out. So
oh, really?
Or when I'm extending. And I told her I'd get back to her yesterday, so I need to email her back now.
Uh-oh.
But again, I think it will... I don't want to say anything because it's not confirmed.
Okay.
I'm still planning.
Yeah.
But I knew it was inevitable. It was one of those things that I knew would be for a year or so. Even actually at the beginning, I only thought it would be 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually really enjoyed living in the James. And I thought I'm not ready to leave yet because by the 5th month, I was just starting to feel like really settled. I finally got friends. So, no, that sounds really... that sounds like I went 5 months without having friends. I just meant that I felt a little bit more of a community by then.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to extend, and I ended up staying here a lot longer than I had in mind. But thinking about the future, I think I will probably be leaving the UK again.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, fair enough.
Trying to plan stuff and figure it out.
Yeah, no. It's nice to have that option, I guess, you know.
It is. I'm very fortunate that I get to move around freely, even with my job, because it's fully remote and, you know, I have family in other countries. So I'm very thankful that I have the option.
Yeah, so have you had any kind of like small but meaningful moments here that like stick with you?
I think the most meaningful ones have been in the moments where I've been maybe a little bit upset or just unsure of things, and I felt like I needed someone to talk to. And I knew that I could just message somebody and either go to their room or come here downstairs in the social lounge. And there was just always someone around willing to listen.
Amazing, yeah.
And I think sometimes it's those little things like that we take for granted. But even just having someone there that you can talk at, it helps a lot. And yeah, I've made a lot of really good friends here that have always been willing to listen. So I think those moments have been the most special ones for me.
And how would you describe the James to your friends? Like, you know, somebody like, because it can probably seem like a bit of what actually goes on there. You know, what's happening. You know, what if you had to describe us? How would you do it?
I always think of it as kind of uni halls, but for adults,
Adults,
like working professionals.
yeah.
It does feel that way, but it's the best part of uni halls, you know, because you've got your independence, you're living on your own,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just people all around and there's events and things going on, so you're just not really feeling alone, which is the main thing. And I've had a couple of friends come to visit and they've been quite jealous of what life is like here.
Yeah.
Because you don't really get this anywhere else. So it's something really special, something that I will really look back on positively, I think.
Well, that's amazing, and you know that's kind of one of the things we're striving to build here. And somebody like yourself who's lived all over the world, you kind of know what community is. So do we fit that? Do we check those boxes for what real community is to you?
I would say so. Yeah, I definitely have felt that way. And we've had so many good times over the past few months. You know, the James here is still relatively new, so I'm sure a lot more people will have other things to look forward to in the future. But I know that with the friends group that I created, we had some great moments and we have a very special bond between quite a few of us. So I know that that will probably last, hopefully, for
The rest of your life,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Because,
you know, naturally people drift away, and you might not speak as much as you do when you live together, but still, you know that they're a big part of your life still.
And is there anyone? This is funny that you say that. Is anybody in particular at the James has impacted you more than you'd expected them to?
Like, a resident or like
anyone at the James?
Well, special shout out to Bidrohi and Carlos as well.
Great guys, great peeps.
Yeah, Carlos was amazing. It's just really, really close friend. And then Biz is the same. She's been there since I moved in. So I think having them there for, you know, I've known them now. It's crazy how quickly time has gone.
Carlos's departure was quite sudden, wasn't it?
I know.
And that's heartbreaking. You know,
so
things
sad.
like that happen. Yeah.
But I think that's how you know you've made a good friend, when you're actually upset when they leave.
Absolutely,
and you notice their sort of lack of presence. I think that's how you know that it was a meaningful relationship that you had.
And like, obviously, everything here at the James, we try to be modern with the times, try and give people the amenities that we need. But do you think modern life and sensibilities make it harder to connect properly? Because obviously you can sit on your phone all day if you want, there's that temptation. Or do you think with the advent of social media, it's actually easier to connect these days?
It's a tough one, and that's coming from someone who works in social media. You know, it's definitely got its good side where you can meet people, but it's sometimes hard to find authentic friendships or relationships with people that you meet on social media.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes you can get lucky and you become really close to someone, but a lot of the time it's not quite the same. There's just, I don't know, there's something.
It doesn't really, I mean, it can be meaningful, but it's not like me and you, we can see each other, we could, you know, give each other a hug if we wanted to, but you can't really do that on social media, can you? So, over like the past 10 years, do you think there's a version of yourself along that timeline that, you know, that would be shocked by your current life, or have you kind of, is everything going to plan? What there is of it?
I don't think shocked so much. Maybe a little bit surprised. I don't know. I can't remember what I thought I would have achieved in life by then. But when I was 19, oh my gosh, 10 years ago, it's crazy. I was just kind of doing whatever. I didn't really think that much of the future.
Flopping around.
I would have one idea one day, and then the next I wanted to do something else.
Yeah, and you've forgotten that idea the next day.
So Yeah, I don't think, I do sometimes look back and think, what would I have said if I knew where I'd be now? But I think I would have been quite happy, to be honest. I didn't really have many expectations.
Mm.
So, yeah, just living life.
Getting on with it.
Yeah, I've traveled a lot and I visited a lot of countries, which is what I wanted to do at that age. So I'm quite satisfied now with what I did.
So it's like, not, yeah, exactly. You've done it, haven't you?
Yeah. I've reached a stage where I'm quite satisfied with what I've done, and it's quite fulfilling, I guess.
Is there anything that you used to chase that you know, don't really care about now?
I wanted a job that paid lots of money. And then I went into teaching and now marketing. So, I kind of gave up on that. One thing that I've really been trying to do, and it's also very recent because over the holidays, I was thinking so much about the future and I was so stressed and just worrying about everything and not having a plan in place. But I think it's now just kind of relearning to be satisfied with what you have rather than trying to chase that end goal. And it's what I was talking to someone here about the other day, that, if you're always chasing this kind of goal throughout your whole life, then once you've got it, it's like, well, what then?
Next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because maybe you work towards it for so many years and then it's not as fulfilling as you thought it would be. And then you just end up feeling more lost. So I think I'm just trying to really focus on enjoying what I have now and being okay with that. And, accepting that if I don't have a house or a lot of money or whatever in the future, I'm going to be okay with that.
It always sounds so cynical, but it's getting more and more apparent that it's more along the lines of aim for the middle and you can never be disappointed.
Exactly. Lower your expectations, basically.
Lower them expectations and you'll be fine.
Exactly. So that's the way to live, I guess.
And, you've moved around so much. Love to know one piece of advice that, if someone's moving country. I mean, I moved from Manchester to Sheffield, and that was probably like the craziest thing I've ever done in my entire life, apart from nearly living
it. Wild.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So what about you, though? What's one piece of advice for moving countries? Just being able to pick up and go. Like, mine would be, always have a capsule wardrobe.
Good advice? I don't know. I mean, it's not always going to be easy, even though I look back on it and I think, yeah, it's great. There were times that it was super stressful and really challenging. And there were times when I just thought, like, maybe this isn't going to work out. But I think ultimately you just have to enjoy any opportunity that comes up. And whatever, if you get invited to do something, just say yes to everything.
Always say
to an extent,
to an extent, of course, but like something that you wouldn't normally do, put yourself out your comfort zone, go and do it.
And a lot of people say that, but it is just the best advice you can give.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do it is as soon as you get there, because otherwise you just get used to your own ways, and by then you're too scared or too comfortable to then go out and try new things. So I think that's one of the good things, though, moving somewhere new. It's such a big step that after that you just think, well, if I've done this really big thing, what's stopping me from trying out all of these small things? So you're just a lot more open to giving everything a go. And also you're in a place where nobody knows you.
Yeah,
so
you can be whoever you want, really, can't you?
You can kind of reinvent yourself if you want. And you can just try new things. Nobody then knows you. They're not going to judge you. So it's quite liberating in that way.
And obviously he's mentioning you might be leaving the UK soon, so you'll be able to kind of go back on that advice of yourself, I guess. And you've got 30 coming up.
Big 3-0.
Big 3-0.
Yeah.
What are you excited about in this next chapter of your life?
It's hard to know because I don't even know what's going to happen. But I'm positive that whatever happens is what's meant to happen, and it's going to be good either way. So I'm not really scared of the future because I know based on all my past decisions that whatever I decide to do in the end works out.
Always works out, yeah.
I think that's just the best way to see it. So it's just we'll see. But whatever it is, it's going to be great, I'm sure.
And if someone's feeling a bit lost, then like similar stage to your life, what would you want them to hear? Like, what would you tell them, or what do you wish you'd have been told?
I don't want to say lower your expectations, but it's very freeing when you do.
Yeah, roll with the punches, basically.
Just don't put so much pressure on yourself to have things figured out, regardless of how old you are or what you want to do in life. Because you might not get it, and there are other things to be happy about, So look for other things in life that you can find that sense of fulfillment in and enjoy, and just be around people that care about you. I think those are the main points, really. And don't, it gets said a lot, but don't compare your life to other people's, because you're on two very different tracks. So
very different. No two lives are the same.
No.
Even twins.
Exactly. I see a lot of people my age that I know, a lot of my friends or people from school that are already married and have kids and all the rest of it. But sometimes I think, oh, that might be nice. But then at the same time, I think, I've done all of these other things in my life. And had I gone that other route, I wouldn't have been able to do all of that.
Yeah, that societal pressure is easing now, I think, as we mentioned that before, didn't we? And, we've got more agency over our own lives now. So, and you laugh, but lowering your expectations, it's funny to say, but it's almost not lower your expectations, but don't expect is, I guess, the way I would put it. Don't expect anything, or expect the unexpected sort of thing. And you've made massive strides in your life by following that advice. So I guess my final question for you is, what's one simple thing that makes you genuinely happy?
You say one simple question, but it's a really difficult one, I suppose. I think just finding joy in the small things and spending time with people that I care about. I think growing up away from family, it was always very difficult. I moved away from my parents when I was very young. But it just meant that even though I got to see them once a year, those moments were just much more special, and I appreciated them much more. And I've kind of taken that on in my life. So when I'm around people that I really love and care about, those are the best moments, really. And I think you just appreciate it much more as you get older as well. When you're younger, it's kind of like...
There's almost like this, when you're younger, it's like, oh, everything needs to be 100 miles an hour exciting, doesn't it? But honestly now, one thing that makes me happier more than anything in the world is getting in bed at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Same. So actually, especially now that it's winter, waking up in my bed, like, it just makes me feel so grateful. I think it's the time of day when I just feel the most thankful for everything that I have, because I'm so warm, and especially when I get to sleep in, it's just the best thing ever.
Honestly, yeah, like good quilt set, a top blanket, and I'm set. I'm good. Honestly,
it's the small things, Yeah,
exactly.